Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. Let's get started with your reading. This reading is a pick a card for what you need to know right now. We have a beautiful winged earring, a beautiful pearl necklace, and a beautiful star pendant. It could be used as a hair clip or a brooch. Okay. Take a moment, pause the video, and see which one best suits you. Timestamps will be below in the comment section, and we will start with group 1. Let's begin. Mutable, adaptable, flexible, versatile. It looks like a bridge. It's a connection. Doesn't have to be. Ooh, these are two of my favorite cards, actually. You have wise salt and you have gold. They are both very important. For your tarot, you have the Three of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Emperor. With the Hermit, the Five of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Your spirit oracle is the Otter. I love that. And your message of cosmic oracle is, remember that it's okay to be happy. It really is. Okay, and the Otter is work, 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 work. Inner work, outer work, actual work, all that. So, let's get started with your reading. We're going to go with the wise salt. We're going to start with that. And for this, I'm not going to influence it off top. We're together going to take into consideration what the collective of cards mean, but I don't want you to miss individual messages, and I'll tell you what my intentions were when pulling the cards. With the archetype cards, the Wild Unknown, and if you follow the channel, you know these are my favorites. The gold, this is an auspicious kind of side. This is moving forward in the right direction. You're on the right path. On the left side, it just talks about areas of caution where we may need to pay attention, and you actually have attention in a focus area consciously, while subconsciously it's a totally different energy. So let's see. Wisdom, preservation, and grit. With the wise salt, it's a sacred ingredient to the preservation. In due time and with due experience, the alchemist, which would be you, slowly develops the granules of wisdom that can someday be passed to another. Salt retains, preserves, and absorbs. It brings complexity to flavor and grit to slippery roads. Such is the magic of the wise salt. The words holding and hold meaning. The stories are deep and true. They have wisdom that cannot be attained by any other means than decades of pain and pleasure. You may experience wise salt through the elders of the community. When this card appears, know that everything you are going through will be of use down the line. Alchemy. You are being brined. Preserve what you can, let go of the rest, and lean heavily on your elders. To go deeper, it says read about the salt marches in India. Okay. Now with gold, the alchemist's goal is to get to the gold, right? Or gold could have another significance into your reading, so we're going to go over that one. And at the end of the video, there will be a moment to reflect and meditate, and I'll leave the timestamp. So after your individual readings, you can go to the timestamp in the comments, click on the meditation, and it'll take you to the part that just plays out the frequency to give you some time to think. Now the gold talks about splendor, culmination. The alchemist's gold is no ordinary gold. It is not found in rings or coins or necklaces. Okay, it is a substance buried deep within, sometimes referred to as gold of the wise. Gold of the wise. Hello? How do we recognize it? It mimics qualities of metal itself, soft and radiant, and its planetary counterpart, the sun, warm and bright. It's no wonder gold is associated with the heart. The gold card carries a distinct shadow. If mistaken for a purely physical material, it can lead to greed and excess, causing you to lose your way. Reserve is the key. So you have flexibility, adaptability, heart, and reserve, as well as physical. Wise, and something about your experiences that could not be learned through school, through books, through YouTube, through this reading, but only through the experience themselves, which could be some of the things on your mind today. Very interesting. Okay. Now, the otter, because we talk about tarot all day and I'm going to get there. But I love the oracle cards and some of your bonus cards to kind of keep your mind off of like figuring out what it means and just individually taking in the messages to see where they could fit and resonate with experiences and questions that you may have. Okay. It's a sea otter. Water is mutable. A water sign might be involved in the situation. Possibly even an air sign. A fire sign. Or just the archetypes of the cards that you see presented on the table. Joy, playfulness, contentment. Okay, so to be adaptable, flexible, and versatile, contentment is important. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is playful, like a child. Somebody could be childish, and you're being flexible. They're being childish. There's a giddiness and a reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, because we do have that Five of Cups. So the otter is speaking out to you to find playfulness and joy and contentment, less doubt, worry, and skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. It's what it's asking of you. When in balance, the otter is full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, and makes silly mistakes, as well as excuses. Okay. To bring into balance, it says dance, party, or celebration. So instead of that Three of Swords, it would have been more like Three Cups, but we're going to see why we have those three swords, because the Hermit is right under it, and the Hermit does things alone, isolation and distance. So that could give some meaning to why there's not a celebratory sort of vibe. Now, this could represent the recent past, our first role here. And with the Three of Swords, could talk about a separation or heartbreak. Speaks of thoughts that cause pain. And the thoughts that cause pain crossing the Five of Cups just talks about a little bit of sadness. There could be grief and pretending everything is fine when it's not. However, separations, emotional pain, and if none of those, just afraid of getting hurt or finding it hard to trust. Okay? So how this could be affecting the present moment, all of your awards, the things that you would be recognized for with the Six of Wands. Because the Six of Wands speaks to success, victory, and self-confidence in getting what you want. So this situation could be affecting getting what it is that you want. I don't like that. Okay. Now, the outcome or advice, as well as the approach to take to it, has two very confident energies when it comes to the Emperor. Right? The Emperor is a major arcana and speaks to masculine energy, or the ruler, as well as the head of household, head of a company, an organization, or communities. The Emperor is an authority figure that creates solid foundations to build and create on, and this is the foundation here. So some turn their pain into passions, their pain into a paycheck. Okay? You may say, I don't care about no paycheck. I got a good job. What's this lady talking about? Well, structure, logic, and reason toward a situation that led you to this reading, as well as energy, force, and drive, and being fearless. The Emperor uses logic rather than intuition and prefers well thought out plans above impulsive actions. The Emperor has strong values and beliefs and is not likely to budge. So, if there's some stubbornness, I know with this Queen of Wands right here, stubbornness would have met its match. And in a love situation or a relationship, it talks about a couple that works together in building up their own empire. So if you're single, this card can mean that you'll soon meet someone who is very serious to have a committed relationship. And the Queen of Wands would tell you something about the type of partner that they wish to have, which is important if we're working on trust. Okay? Now, the Three of Swords is something that needs to be retired. We're going to just let that one ride out. It's ran its course. We did it. okay? If this isn't a relationship for you, the Emperor and the Queen of Wands does speak to a business school, which is kind of cool because you're wise and you have this highly auspicious aspect of you where the direction you're taking or the thoughts that you're having, the favorable ones, could bring insight to the world or just be pleasure in doing something that you love. I think that is very beautiful. Remember that it's okay to be happy. It really is what it tells us, okay? So now looking at our Hermit card, right, coming up under the Three of Swords, to take some time away, maybe a little bit of isolation, to work on yourself. Why are we doing that? Because of this Five of Cups energy. And the thing about the Five of Cups is we're focusing on the 3 cups and not the 2 cups. So the balance and harmony is being ignored. And then like this negative energy is being focused on. We don't want that. Regrets, disappointments, especially in love, but a relationship might not have turned out the way you wished it had. Right? It happens. The Queen of Wands, as the approach to take to this potential, and I love her there because these are 2 energies that to me are balanced. Even though the Emperor and the Empress is an ideology that people would say is the perfect match, they're 2 different energies. I feel like the Queen of Wands can definitely match the energy of the Emperor without much effort. But she's warm and kind. She's passionate, goal-oriented and determined, into metaphysics, and can use her mind to both increase harmony or havoc, however one wants to go about it. And see how she has this dark side and here's this lighter side. But she's focused on her goals either way. So I think what I like about this is her dark side and her light side, I feel like only affect the people who get in her way. I don't feel that she's allowing it to get in her way in this instance. She's attractive and fun, follows her true passion, and stays busy and is active. So I think that could be very important. If this is a love situation that you question, it talks about having plenty of options and admirers. So if there's a person in your environment that has the archetype of the Emperor, then yes, this is a relationship that may not pan out the way you'd wish, because this person can have multiple suitors. In addition to that, because I want you to trust your own intuition, the Queen of Wands speaks of a relationship where you are adored by your partner. Casual relationships will not do it, so that's something that the Queen of Wands and the Emperor has in common. Business and frivolous relationships just ain't gonna work. So consciously and subconsciously, you are in alignment with your outcome or your approach to take to it. But I feel like in the past and even in the present, there's some intertwining energies where here they're in alignment and here they're kind of like opposites. This is looking down, not paying attention, isolated and detached. And this is the star of the show. This is that thing that comes in and unblocks us from the Two of Swords, whether it hurt or not, okay? It removed us from the Two of Swords so that we could move forward to that Four of Swords energy. So it's your choice. And I do hope that it helps. Group 2, we are going to get started with your reading. Your first card. Ooh, you have Jupiter. Yes, you do. That's nice. Love that. Jupiter always looks like a 21 and a 4. That's crazy. So it's like 3 and 4. That's 7. Maybe that's why it's lucky. Here you have the breath. And here you have the darkening. I may have taken them out in the incorrect order, but 12 and 36. So that's 9 and 3. And that's 12. All right. Pisces, right? You got Jupiter and the number 12 for your tarot cards. I like them. I'm going to start with that. You may have some mysteries in the love life, but your health, finances, not as complicated. How about that? And I'll tell you why. Your spirit animal is the eagle. Love that. So I'm gonna, okay, I get to tell you that funny story. Okay. And for your messages of cosmic oracle, you have, no one said this whole life thing was a race. It's okay to slow down. All right. So if some things have slowed down, or if you ain't slowed down, because that did give me the Knight of Wands vibe, just breathe. I'm gonna breathe for you and with you, because you do have breath over here, and that gives me like the breath of life, which is way bigger than all of us. And the fact that it came out with the darkening initially, let me just be honest, it gave me a vision of the dark and the light and the whole spiritual war like that the planet is going through. It isn't, not even just pinpointing you, but I mean, you could be experiencing something like that also. Okay. To go over your alchemy cards, right, which are some of my favorite oracle cards, we're going to start with the darkening, which is a process. Okay? It talks about churning, depth, and readiness. In alchemy, darkness is an achievement. So let's clear that up. It indicates the material has been through a significant occurrence, sometimes called an initiatory experience that has brought it into a state of readiness for the work. The darkness prepares us. We've moved beyond the small talk and the chit-chat of the upper world and descended into the psyche layers of the soul. We admit who we are, fully and bravely, and thus open ourselves to process of transformation. When this card appears, it's not necessary to delve into what brought you here, the initiation, likely by fire, that has caused the embers to char. Rather, it's time to heal, and darkness is the remedy. Closing your eyes is a voluntary expression of darkness. By practicing it daily, we drop into the depth of surrender. As the alchemist's eyes adjust, transformation begins. Now, when I think about meditation and the breath, I do think about a light body activation where the spirit connects with you, and I've only experienced it through a light body activation, even though there may be other activations and so many yoga things and spiritual things and ancient things to do to evoke and invoke all kinds of stuff. But at the right time, in the right moment, whatever place in your life that it happens, the darkest moments of your life, it could be a blessing in disguise to be the exact moments when the breath of life or like spirit itself shows up. I'm not just saying it because it's in a book. It is not in this book. I have read the part of the book. I'm telling you from my own experience and what was just on my heart to say about darkness and the breath of life. Okay? Darkness is like this world thing. With all the things that we've picked up and gone through from the world, all of the characteristics that we've inherited, the relationships we've had from childhood, the experiences, and what that has kind of like molded us into, but that's not your pure essence. The breath of life has always like reminded, loved, replenished, and transmuted the purest form of the self, and not the stuff. Okay, because I was about to go and get crunk. Not the things that life had to offer us, but the true nature of one's soul. And lo and behold, I want you to see it. The breath is life force, presence, and inspiration. There is no direct way to practice alchemy than to study it. We all have access to the mystical phenomenon known as the breath. It occurs at every moment, gracing us with the gift of existence upon the physical plane. And I honestly felt that's what God was, like, not to be goofy, but they always said that God was no one thing and always everything and omnipresent. Not a physical nothing, but everything and nothing. And so when I think of that, I think of something that allows everything within it to be, which is pretty dope. And that's why all things created within it are reflections of it, just like a human. Created in the image. What's in you and what's outside of you is sometimes a reflection of each other, even if you feel like you have limited control or had a limited say. There's some sort of reflection. It could be in your natal chart, in your experiences, in your subconscious, in your conscious, in your heart, in your character, whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, this card serves as our ever reliant bridge. It is the magical within us all, the expanding and generating life force that animates our life. This card may appear simple, but it is not. No matter how advanced you are in studying the breath, if you heed the message of this card, you will find it is more or has more to teach. Bow to it at this very moment, and you will discover the work revitalizes itself. New space opens. The breath is your lifelong ally, stating its love with every inhale and exhale. Take one deep breath, full breath, and ponder on your first breath. So if you're not into meditation and yoga, look into it. The first breath may be significant, okay? Not going to hold you. I haven't done like a whole lot of research to get all philosophical with you about the interpretation of the first breath. Now, your spirit animal is the eagle. And with this crow here, this happened this week. The crow has a dark pearl. Oh my God, and you chose pearls. Jesus. And that is a smoky quartz. This is crazy. Whew. Intuitively, the mother source in a nurturing energy, regardless of what you think when I say this, is protecting you and watching over you in situations where it appears as dark. Just know that. And that's why you have Jupiter here, which does talk about growth and opportunity. So any situations that we face that could seem uncomfortable or temporary or puts us in like this dark night kind of vibe, it leads later to expansion if we allow it. Okay? Got it. Now, the story about the eagle and the crow. What may need to be of caution for you. It's how you handle things that irritate you, annoy you, people that irritate you, annoy you, people or situations that have the audacity to try you. Okay? They said that the crow is the only other bird that has the audacity to pick at the eagle with no fear. So if there's any fears in your life, let them go. On the flip side, if this is about how you deal with annoyances or grievances, the eagle doesn't respond really to the crow and the nitpicking and the biting and the playing. It rises higher. It just continues to fly higher because the air circulation, the breath, is going to reduce for the crow, and they can't breathe and they just fall out. Look it up, Google it. This ain't philosophical or metaphysical. This is actual life right now I'm telling you about. If a crow jumps on the back of an eagle and start picking at him, the eagle is going to accelerate and go higher, and the higher it goes, the less the crow can breathe, and it just falls off. So I didn't turn around. I didn't break my stride. I didn't fight with you. I didn't feel anything. I didn't think anything. I didn't change my vibration. I just flew higher because I can do something you can't do. So why did you come over here bother me in the first place? Did you not think that through? So that's the story of the crow, the eagle, and this acceleration in air. That is crazy that you got that. It's check the story tab. It's literally a story. That's crazy. Slow down. It's not a race. They gave me like Knight of Wands vibes, and this would be a message from a guide that can see the full picture where you can't. It's like, it's all right to slow down. It's not a race. And then so, Nipsey always talked about the marathon. So you gotta, and Jay-Z, two very successful men, okay, authority figures or whatnot. I like that. But okay, you may not like men. I don't know. Even with yoga gurus and stuff, your breath or doing breath work is important because it helps you to sustain yourself and have some level of control over enduring. So marathon runners, they pace themselves in their strides and their breath. People who do high, spiritual yoga, they pace themselves and have some level of connection or control over the breath. It's just significant. You know what I mean? So for you to have this race thing, and when I think about a race, the only difference I can see is when it says slow down, I think about the marathon. And in the marathon, you have to pace yourself and have consistent and focused breathing to endure. Cut and clear. That was some super dope stuff. So all of you that chose part 2, cool. Not that the other parts weren't cool. Okay. As for your tarot cards, and don't worry, everyone gets the tarot lastly because the message is in what's around us, bringing us to this moment. Okay. So to start with something from the divine, right? The aces are handed down from the divine, and you literally have the breath of life right here. The breath of life or source gave an angel a sword once to be the general in a war, because I know your heart and I know that you can, right? And it was just crazy enough to do it. Now, it also speaks to a new thought and a new belief system. It is the potential of mental energy used to create clarity, often also justice. Nothing wrong with that. I love the air. Okay, the air up there. That's probably why. The spirit animal in this reading is the eagle. Now, for your careers, intellectual work, legal work, armies, police officers, the Ace of Swords in a career reading can mean victory in disputes and winning in a competitive work environment. The Queen of Coins, her work environment is usually small and sometimes remote, So just keep that in mind. A stimulating environment. If you are remote or spend a lot of time at home, you may be considering that in the near future. Justice and truth. If this is about love, it just denotes a person who has a very high idea when it comes to relationships, and the communication is important to them. If you're single, it means meeting someone you are very compatible with intellectually. And crazy enough, it could be an earth sign. And then you got 2 cups right next to it. So that is a signifier for a potential relationship, and or, watch this, because we talked about balance and truth. A sword and 2 cups. Isn't that not the Libra scale? Isn't that not balance? Isn't that not truth, integrity, and all that kind of stuff? Yes, it is. It could talk about close relationships and intimacy and deep levels with each other, whichever the case. I like that. The 2 of Cups brings us harmony. I like that too. Now with the Ace of Swords, strong communication in a relationship and a mental connection. They right next to each other. Now, what could have raised an eyebrow is the fact that along with that beautiful message, you have something like the 7 of Swords right next to it. And the 7 of Swords could talk about someone who's distrusting of others. That got something to do with it. For whatever reason. There is with all that I've said, there we go. A fear of commitment even. So keep that in mind. Because the strong intellectual connection is great. But a fear of commitment for whatever reason may not be. And it could be for good reason. Like if somebody has a fear of commitment, they could, just have broken a lot of rules and feel like one day it's going to come back on them. I know a person like that or 2 that move the way they move in life because of what they've done, not because of what nobody done to them. And then counter that, there are some people that have had dishonest relationships and have trust issues. Okay, so despite that, on a general level, coming and going as you please and working more efficiently on your own. She works very efficiently on her own, which is why she's like the administrator, the secretary. She can take care of a lot. She's very grounded. She's practical. She's logical, and she can multitask. Love that. And then you have the 10 of Coins. You have the 10 of Coins right where you got the 2 of Cups. And this is in the present moment. So any past situations, present, and potential for the future says that there could be an opportunity or could have been an opportunity, but for some reason we're moving forward in this energy that doesn't really involve others or things outside of us. I want to say that because this involves others, this may, but this doesn't. And the 9 of Coins is independence, and this is her coin. Sometimes the king, but for the most part it's an independent woman or an independent person that releases something. It's a release of something, a release of whatever this is. So if there's deception on your part and a non-committal, hey, right? Or if you've experienced that. And this doesn't have to be in an intimate relationship. It can be toward your own goals and your perspective. Because you had a very spiritual message about others and life and how to handle situations without reacting. So I thought that was pretty cool. 10 Pentacles, wealth, inheriting something. The difference in this 9 of Pentacles is that you probably created that on your own. But there's financial security. And it does talk about something about a holiday. So I don't know what the next upcoming holiday is, but there's that. This is an upgrade regardless of what people think, because the 10 of Coins can sometimes speak to hand-me-downs and things that you've inherited. But the 9 of coins is like totally on you. So if you've inherited something in your intimate relationships or anywhere in your life, keep in mind that the approach to take to it is to focus on security, taking breaks, enjoying life, being classy, being self-reliant, smart, wise, and clever. Now, if we clumsy and we got a lot of clutter, that's going to keep that dark energy, and I don't think it's a lot of air in there because it's all cluttery and stuffy, so you got to chill. Slow down a little bit, because sometimes when we're in a haste, it can be like that. I have to take time out. I saw a post on the internet. This lady had ADD, and she said one of the rules for the ADD people is to not put down but put away. And I don't think I'm ADD, but I will sit some shit down because I don't feel like dealing with it. And looking at her post kind of taught me, even if you don't feel like dealing with it, it'll benefit you to put it up and do away with it in a moment. So I don't care if I'm eating something, I go rinse out my plate. And you might say, that's what normal adults do. Well, shit. Okay. I didn't say I didn't do that before. I'm just saying her post made sense. I don't to not sit things down and leave them there, but to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of in the present moment. And for you, what's in the present moment is harmony and balance, as well as health. If you're like a mystic or something like that, it just talks about information, secret, ancient information that you may have access to benefit you, because this is a healer or someone that works in the herbs or holistic care. Okay, so no, okay, I'm just making sure. So it's like, no, fuck no. I've been saying no for like 2 minutes, but maybe I can wake you up to some new ideas. Okay. Anywho, freedom. This is freedom. And it does talk about freedom and minimal supervision. Because she's an administrator, I can see why. This usually talks about a person who has money and might not even need to work. A person who has money that might not even need to work. So right now, wherever you are in life, you needed this sword. You've been handed this sword. So that tells me a lot about this. Getting it into harmony and balance. It's like 3 cups actually in this 2 of cups, which is crazy. But this is divine. This is the one thing, and this are the 2 things. So this is like source, and then both aspects of you, and or source, or both of you too. So it's like a physical relationship and a spiritual relationship intertwined. While one person is focused on this, the other person is kind of like focusing on this. And there's individualism on both sides, which is crazy. One of them is walking with spirit. The other one gonna learn some lessons about not doing it. Where growth, opportunity, and optimism have taken place here. So it's kind of cool. We are going to move into group 3. Group 3, the star. You have trine. Yes, hello. Luck, positivity, and auspiciousness. Hello. We're going to start with that. You have the androgen, which are my 2 birds. That sometimes gives me like 2 of swords, but we'll see. And then you have despicable face. For your tarot, you have, this shook me, I ain't gonna lie. You guys are the reason I had to go back and take 3 additional cards for everybody else, because it wasn't fair. These came out randomly for you, not gonna lie. The initial cards were, I I think this was last. We're just like doing what's best for you. Now y'all confusing me. Okay, I got it. Okay. Got the nudge. I got it. Okay. A choice. You may hear a lot about choices in the readings that you watch or even cards that you pull for yourself. If not a choice, it literally could talk about lovers. And there's a trine right here. I like that. And notice that the triangle represents a trine. So where there are challenges, there's something that is positive and auspicious and lucky, regardless of what despicable shit and crossroads you face, you lucky, lucky person. I hope you're feeling like it. I hope right now you're agreeing with me that regardless of what happens in your life, you may be more fortunate than some others you know. And that is a gift, not that we compare ourselves to others. The Five of Pentacles here, though, could talk about some hardship. Doesn't always have to be in finances, but it just talks about not really feeling secure. And then in our health, some people in our environment aren't good for our health, and maybe a change is needed, or there's some juggling. If they're juggling, whatever they're doing out there and with whoever they're doing it with could be contaminating us, causing blocks within ourselves because of this despicable individual. So just be mindful of that. But if you're single and ain't nobody in your environment, it may talk about spending more than you earn, a feeling of a lack of support, low energy. There's someone in your environment that could be dealing with financial embarrassment or have a lack of self-confidence and low self-esteem, and those kind of people or mean. So hopefully there's nobody in your environment that's mean. But if you're facing these type of issues, you have luck on your side. I do want to say that. And this crystal kind of amplifies things. So your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, wherever Aquarius falls in your chart. What is this called? A Herkimer stone? Herkimer diamonds? They amplify the energy of anything. So if there's a lack of support or lovers in your life, we're going to manifest that in there. If there's some turbulence, some financial embarrassment, we're going to amplify that. What I appreciate is that you got master numbers to come up in your reading, because I saw the 88 and then I saw spirit, the number 13. I saw debt. I saw karmic. So I was just like, what is this about? This is crazy. If you don't have people to rely on, you have spirit. If you feel burdened, you do have spirit. If you've been let down and have learned how to cope on your own, you do have spirit. And you have somewhere luck, a trine of some sort is coming up in the near future for you, in the present moment, or maybe even in the recent past. So just do please be mindful of that. Okay. An uncomfortable reality could be of significance, and riding out some hard times. That is not always fun. I do want to say that. So I had to take a moment and stop because I just couldn't believe it. Now, the Eight of Swords is telling me a lot about these 8 cups. And it's crazy. I'm so different with you guys. Everybody else got their oracle cards discussed before the tarot, and I jumped right into tarot for you because I'm telling you, when I saw this 88 and then I saw spirit, I was just like, what is this about? And then it was like 8 cups, moving away from things that no longer serve us, and 5 of coins, it wasn't good for you anyway, and a change of some sort, and juggling and balancing, right? Balancing the imbalances, because the 8 of Swords is talking about escaping. And we need to still our mind. The 2 of Coins is a very busy energy, and the 8 of Swords is asking us to still it a bit. Still in our mind, even though we want to stay busy and fake it and not pay attention to it and get involved in something else. Nope. I'm going to walk away from this because it's not good for me. But there's a message in it, and we can't escape that. So if you get the message, cool. But escaping something because you feel that it isn't good for you, or this no longer serves me, and you haven't learned the lesson in it or gotten the blessing from it, just be mindful of that, because it speaks to being confused about what to do, a fear of failure, or afraid of making the wrong decision, feeling stuck or being unable to move forward, as well as wanting to be rescued. That these are the things that may need to change that are limiting us. If we're being kept in the dark about something that is being induced by something or a person outside of us, that means we could not be trusting in ourselves enough, or possibly lacking direction. If it keeps getting harder and harder, the mind is becoming more turbulent, and then we could become blind to the disturbances. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If this is regarding a relationship, you may be, or someone in your environment is unsure right now. So somebody's changing. I don't know why. You're not being yourself. Why is that? Well, I don't know either, type deal. For your career, the Eight of Swords can talk about what career is best for you. And that's why we're at a crossroad. Relationship, career, life, whatever, could be a crossroad. Because like I said, this card always gives me like the Two of Swords. And you're changing. It could be a transformation of some sort. So just be mindful of that. All right. And I think that that's pretty cool. It's not a bad thing at all. Miscommunications in relationships. You know, be mindful of those. And afraid of upsetting others. Be mindful of that. If you like, that ain't me, then great. Now with Spirit coming under the Five of Pentacles, that's interesting. Because you have Scorpio, you have debt collectors that can come through that. It's a major arcana. And the Five of Pentacles talks about like so many things, right? But Spirit is going to supersede or take precedent over that. A transformation and ending, but there's a new beginning, and you could be in the midway mark where it is going to take the same amount of energy to go ahead and finish the situation than it would to like try to turn around and walk back or start something else. Nope, this is a pentacle. What do they call it? The Penterland, where we're in the center. Whichever way you go, it's the same distance. But a transformation could be taking place. You are growing and changing with the circumstances you find yourself in. And for some of us, the situation that we find ourselves in with this Five of Pentacles could just talk about our health and our security, and or some sort of loss, usually financially, but somewhere in your domestic lives. Paying bills, being independent on charity, or dependent on charity, I'm sorry. A lack of confidence. We talked about that, or just feeling like outside in the cold. If there's some unworthiness or some helplessness, that may be something we have to change. Or feeling unloved, struggling with lack. Our own self-belief is something we may need to look into. And you can feel unsupported in your role, like in your job. So if this isn't about like any of those things outside of you, in your role and something that you're doing, there's just a need for change, a need to end, a need to transform. Okay. Whew. Now, with your, yeah, that is financial embarrassment for some of us, because the owl tried to come out in reverse, baby, and I turned that up real quick. We're not doing that. Because you got luck up here. See how that worked? The angel, oracle, cosmic, alien, whoever message It says, say goodbye to your past. Consciously, once we deal with the subconscious energy, we can say goodbye at any time, because the foundation of this is in the subconscious mind that has the heaviest energy. And it's like consciously, we have the choice. Okay? So, let's look at these little red birds over here looking like 2 red flags. See what they're talking about. Like I said, intuitively, as long as I've been having this deck, they've always been my, they just give me 2 of Swords vibes. They just always have. However, they represent transcendence, multiplicity, and they represent an artist of some sort. They have rings that look like in connection to the Wheel of Fortune even. It involves Hermes and Aphrodite. Ain't that kind of like Venus and Mars? Classically depicted as a balanced union of divine masculine, the sun, and divine feminine, the moon. Yet today's alchemist knows them as a far more nuance than its original, I guess, ideology. It encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in every changing, non-binary form. The divine hermaphrodite defines definition as it is deeply personal, and it's a felt experience. Meaning it's not masculine or feminine. It's like no thing. And the only other thing that I know is no thing. Of course, somebody can say, I'm not binary. I'm not. And it's like, you're a dude or a girl. I'm sorry. Don't block me. Okay, don't cancel me. But God, the Holy Spirit, and things that are out of this dimension are not binary or feminine or masculine. They're just who they are and what it is. So I think that that's cool. And in this particular instance, it just talks about being divine. I'm not divine masculine or divine feminine. I'm just divine. So it's a pure form. It says, breath by breath, we are drawn into our limbs, our fluids, our organs, and our cells, and all that kind of stuff. It says, we let go of rules and labels. Judgment is suspended. The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form, like a newborn. We know not our name, gender, age, or location. We are embodied artists, embraced unconditionally by the sun and moon. What I like about this is over here at the start, and this is the advice at the end. So letting go of the past and karmic energy is very important to you, because you may have incarnated and brought in some lovers and some financial discomforts, as well as embarrassment and self-inflicting imprisonment. Like now we're just doing it on repeat because we've done it for so long. Here's luck. Here's money luck. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you. The next card is Despicable Face. Because I'm not watching the clock. I swear I'm going all day and just like long-winded with all of you. So I'm just trying to be like to the point and as helpful as I can without being preachy. So the despicable face, unacceptable, shamed, and what is hidden. Look at that. This is subconscious is hidden. 8 cups, 8 swords, Scorpio. It is kept in hiding to save outward appearances. This card appears when something below the surface wants to be witnessed in order to be transformed. So something's coming up to be transformed. What's coming up? 5 coins, 2 coins, and lovers. What are we going to do about it? What are we juggling? Everyone has their own version of the despicable face and their own reasons for assuming it is an abomination. What? It could be a buried resentment, an insecurity, or a physical characteristic that holds us back from expressing our true self. Remarkably, once revealed, it is not despicable at all. It is human. It is interesting. What once was thought of as an error becomes an asset. Hello? I like that. Through acceptance, we lift the veil of perfection and reclaim our energy. Honesty and acceptance are the balm that heals the tender wounds. Yes, hello. And lastly, before we get into your meditation, so don't forget at the end of the video, there's a small window of opportunity for you guys to like just meditate, have a second. Hopefully you got earphones in, and you could just ride with the thoughts or the feedback that was given before diving back in to hear some more stuff on social media. Your spirit guide is the owl, which talks about abundant, clairvoyant, and treasure. When in balance, generous, trusting, and secure. When out of balance, money quarrels and scarcity. So what is out of balance here? The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklores from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boom or treasure is on the way, either in spirit or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you will see and know exactly what to do with this, how it can further serve your dharma, okay, which is good karma, because you got karma. So maybe, I get it, you got dharma and karma. Ain't that something? And you get to choose which one here is going to work for you. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. Yes, hello, because it be coming and going sometimes, but this, your spirit animal said it's infinite. If it's coming and going, it's on you. I don't believe them, so don't get upset if you don't either. We gonna meditate and get it together. I do hope that it helps. And now we will get into the collective meditation.